Hi, I'm Jenna, also known as Retro Lemon, and this is episode 39. Just want to say a big thanks to coming back this week if you are a returning viewer, and a big hello to all the new viewers. I am so excited. We have hit 500 members in the Retro Lemon Studio group. We like the little dance. So I opened up a prize thread, and I thought, since it's election week, Election day was yesterday. I hope you all went out and voted. I thought it'd be fun to give you some options of what you can win as a prize. So I thought, well, normally I give away 3 patterns up to $6 a piece to 3 winners. So I thought, well, we'll do that. And then a skein of yarn is up for grabs, and there will be 1 winner. Because I figure, well, it's about the same price as all the 3 patterns that are $6. And or you can win one of the samples knitted by me for one of my patterns. So you can vote. You get to go, you get to vote, and whatever option wins will be what is given out as a prize, and whoever wins gets said prize. So I thought it would be fun because I normally ask you a question. So instead of asking you a question, I thought I'd give you the opportunity to ask me a question. Because I figure, you know, I get to talk to you, but you don't get to talk back to me. I mean, now I know some of you do. Someone probably just went, but I do. But anyways, I thought it would be fun to give viewers an opportunity to ask me a question. So I'm going to try to just go down the list and just take a few minutes and see how many I can answer in a few minutes. Because I don't want to take up too much time, but I definitely want to answer some of them. And it's so cute because Buffy, she was the first person to respond. She was like, question for you? Nope. Can't think of any. Is that okay? And that is perfectly fine. Like I said, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to ask something if you wanted. So, the first actual question, it says, what knitting project are you most proud of? And I would have to say the project I am most proud of, well, it's hard. It's kind of 2. Am I allowed to give 2 answers? One would be my octopus mitts that you saw a few episodes back, because that was a challenge for me. I mean, that was probably the hardest thing for me that I've ever knit, because I'm not a colorwork knitter. But I guess overall that real moment of, oh my god, I did it, was my first pair of socks. Only because I never thought that I would ever knit a pair of socks, because you have this perceived notion that it's hard, and really once you figure it out, it's not. You're like, why was I so nervous about that? So, next question. This is a good one. Other than DDD, Dancing Dog Dye Works, what is your favorite yarn to make toys from? Honestly, probably one of my most favorite yarns to make toys from, and I went and grabbed a skein because I knew this was a question towards the top, is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. It's cheap. It comes in a variety of colors. I like that it comes in 50-gram skeins, so they're little. Because when you're doing a toy, normally I don't need more than 1 of these. Especially if a pattern calls for 2 colors. You just need 2 of these, and they used to be $1.99, and I now think they're like 2 something. Honestly, I have so much Wool of the Andes. I have like, I swear it seems like I must have like 100 skeins. I have at least probably 50 skeins in various colors that I used to buy all the time when I'd order from Knit Picks. And you need an extra $1 or 2 to get you to the free shipping. Or one time I just went and ordered like 1 of each color I like the best. And with it being a felting wool, so it is not superwash, you can't put it in the washer or the dryer, it has really great structure. So if you really want a well-structured toy, I love Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. Cascade 220, the non-superwash, also really, really great for a good structured toy. On the flip side of that, a really close second for my favorite kind of yarn to make toys out of is Cascade 220 Superwash, because once again, it comes in a huge variety of colors. Knit Pick Swish, which is a comparable to Cascade 220 Superwash, doesn't come in that many colors. It does not come in as many colors as the Wool of the Andes. So for a non-superwash Wool of the Andes, for a superwash, I will say Cascade 220 Superwash. So, oop, I bumped a button. Alright, next question. What have you always wanted to try but haven't? I don't know if it's supposed to be knitting related, so knitting related, something I've wanted to try but I haven't, I think would be toe-up socks. They intimidate me. I guess I'm always worried that my cuff is going to be too tight, because sometimes I have an issue not binding off loose enough, and that's a common complaint I've seen with toe-up socks. I'm cuffed down all the way, so that's something that I wanted to try and haven't. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if she meant knitting related or non-knitting related. Non-knitting related, something I've always wanted to try and haven't. I've always wanted to make a garment for myself, like a sewn garment. Like, I sew and I do lots of accessories, bags, stuff like that. But I've never made something that I've actually, like a dress or something like that. I would love to do that and haven't, because I'm intimidated, and fabric isn't cheap. So if you screw something up, you're out a lot of fabric. All it takes is one wrong cut. Okay, Lori asks, how's Victor? Victor is doing really good. He's old and grumpy. I think his vision is starting to go a little, but he's over 10 years old now, so, and like I said, he just likes to sleep. We joke and call him the couch potato dog, because he'll go outside and play, but if he's in the house, he just wants to relax on his bed and do his thing. Where do you get the inspiration for all your cute monsters? Sometimes, I just sit down, it's an actual bound book, and I have a 50-pack of Crayola colored pencils, and I will sit there and I will just doodle and draw. Sometimes I'll have yarn and needles, and I kind of just start playing with it and writing down what I do as I go, and it kind of takes shape. And sometimes the inspirations, like Sam the Super Frog, totally I have to give all the credit to my kids for coming up with ideas. So it's kind of a mixture. There's definitely not one set thing. But definitely sitting down, kind of doodling, working it out, is definitely a big way that I come up with things. Spinning tips. Spinning tips. I said it when I first started spinning, and honestly, I think you just need to spin fearlessly. I don't fret when I spin about it being perfect. I guess I kind of think of it as knitting is like my job. I mean, I design patterns, I knit it, they need to look good. I'm a total perfectionist when it comes to my knitting. With my spinning, it's all fun. I guess I don't put pressure on myself to make it perfect, so I just let it be what it is. And a problem I have, and I've really been trying to teach myself, is to go slower. I have a tendency to spin too fast, so it's definitely watching your speed, because when you go slower and you can stay consistent, your single ply of fiber can be more consistent. I have a tendency I get in a rhythm and I notice I start to pick up, and then that's when things can go kind of hairy. Okay. What is your knitting dream? The project that looms out there as the thing that you had all the time, and the yarn in the world would be your Mount Everest. Oh. If I had time and money's the big thing, I want to knit a sweater out of, like, really good yarn. Like, really expensive, soft yarn. I absolutely love the Tea Leaves cardigan, and I would love to actually be able to knit it out of Madeline Tosh. Being a fluffier girl, let's say, I mean, the amount of yarn I would need, let's face it, it's a small fortune. If I could get away with 2 or even 3 skeins, that would be one thing. So I would have to say at this point that would be it. I don't do a lot of garment knitting. I feel like a lot of times I don't have that much time to commit to one project because I'm not a monogamous knitter. So that would definitely be one thing I'd love to do. And the vitamin D is totally up there on my list someday. Toy finishing tips. I'm gonna skip this one for now. Susan, please don't be offended. I, at some point, would like to do a short, like, special episode just on toy tips. My biggest tip that I guess I can give now is stitch markers. Either, like, split ring or locking stitch markers. And really pay attention to your placement. Especially when your work is on the needles, find the center of the face and put a stitch marker in the middle. Put a stitch marker where the arms are going to need to go. Even if you have to adjust the height of them later, definitely know where the middle of the side of the body is in the middle of the face area. And I definitely think that helps giving your toy, you know, some symmetry when you're putting it all together. Susan of Girl Cave Bags, how many hours a day do you estimate knitting? I probably knit on average 6 to 8 hours a day. Which sometimes is less on weekends because I get busy with the family. But I knit during the day, and I knit a lot in the evening, and I don't work outside of the home, so I have time. So I do, you know, have a lot of time on my hands, I guess. You know, my kids are older, they can help out with chores. When it's just me here by myself during the day, the house doesn't get messy because I pick up after myself. So, okay, I did the first 12 questions, tried to do them as quickly as I can, and I will do more next week. I would love to be able to answer everybody's question. So, like I said, there are some questions that kind of get answered. You know, it's kind of the same question, just worded a little different. But like I said, I definitely would like to answer as many questions as I can. So, for right now, we need to move along. Knit-alongs. I am so excited to see in the season of giving knit-along that there are already projects posted. I'm like, woohoo! Get that holiday knitting done. I am motivated myself. The Stockinette Zombies are having this knit-along, I think with the Fat Squirrel. And it is What You're Crazy. And so I got ear burned by Megan. I'm about a week behind on all the podcasts I watch, because I definitely watch them, the Stockinette Zombies. And so she ear burned me on Ravelry and was like, hey, What You're Crazy. And I put down my crazy is last year I attempted to do the advent calendar scarf, and I got over halfway. I got to like day 14 or 16 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head now. But trying to keep up with that lace knitting every day, it really doesn't give you much time to knit anything else. I mean, when you start that, you're committing yourself to a day, like 4 to 6 hours of knitting, I have found at least. I think on average it took me about 4 to 5 hours to finish each day's section. Some days went faster, some days went slower, depending on how intricate the pattern was. So my crazy is I'm going to attempt it again this year. I don't know why, because I like the idea of it. I think it's fun. I like lace knitting, unlike some people. And that's my crazy. So I'm trying to get all my Christmas stuff done, all my giving projects done before December, at least as many of them before December as I can. So I will have time to start that advent calendar scarf, because it has been announced there will be a new one this year. And I gotta get my Christmas favorites ornaments going, because I have like a whole list of people that I want to make ornaments for this year. So no posts in that group yet, but it's only December. It's November, November 7th. So there's plenty of time. Both knit-alongs are running until New Year's Eve, midnight, December 31st. I will be up, so I will lock the thread then. And also, if anybody wants to donate a prize for either knit-along, I would graciously love it. The participants would love it as well. So if you are interested, have yarn, stitch markers, bags, whatever you would like to donate, just drop me a personal message or an email and we'll set that up. Alright, finished objects. I have finished objects and I am excited. Okay, the first finished project I have to find time to take a picture of, but I can't do it when my kids are home because, oh, I didn't trim the ends. But they're woven in. I just didn't trim them. Is the Fleur de Lis Single Skein Triangle Shawl by Michelle Miller. So this is a Christmas present for my daughter. She picked out the yarn and the pattern. She went away for the day with my sister-in-law over the weekend, so I had time to block it. It is knit out of Spinning Fates in the Shiva base in the Remembering Remy colorway. So it dried really super fast. It is 100% merino. And I really love this pattern. Like I said, it's $7 for a download on Ravelry. And this is the second time I've knit it. And I would be more than willing to knit it again. I think it's an extremely well written pattern. It comes out great. It's a good size. It's not too big. It's not too small. And the edging is knit on, which I think is awesome because I hate picking up stitches. So, finished object number 1 and a Christmas gift checked off my list. Oh, excuse me, I need a drink. It is so dry since we've turned on the heat. My hair is all out of whack too. If I start getting like poofy head or something, I'm sorry. It's the dry air. Sorry. Ooh. Okay. Up next is... Ooh, now I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Oh my goodness. There. So sorry. Especially if you're wearing headphones. I finished my... I have them listed on my Ravelry project page as my Gobble Gobble socks. I was kind of torn on the heel, and I ended up just going with the Afterthought heel. I used the pattern by Laura Linneman of the Knit Girls, and the yarn is Desert Vista Dye Works in the Grade School Turkey colorway, and yep, my stripes have to match because I'm one of those kind of people. So, I'm really excited. I'm glad to have them done. Glad to be able to wear them for Thanksgiving this year, not next year. And I love this yarn. It just knits up so nice and so soft. Love Desert Vista Dye Works. Especially if you need stripes, that's where you go. And her stuff is dyed to order. So she doesn't have it on hand, but it is so worth the like 2 to 3 week wait. But if you need it right away, that's the one downfall. So my last finished object, speaking of the Advent Calendar scarf, I finally finished last year's. And this puppy is huge. Let's see, this is the end. So this is the part I just finished. And it keeps going and going. And going. Oh, yes. I mean, this thing, I swear, is like 8 feet long. Now, it is not blocked. I just finished it yesterday afternoon. So I did not have time to block it. My ends are woven in, but I haven't clipped them yet. I don't clip my ends until after I block it. That way, if there's any stretch, I won't have like a little stubby end poking out. So I'll block it and then I'll go and clip all my ends. But it is done. It is big. It is gorgeous. I can't wait to block it and really see how big it gets. It's more like a stole than a scarf, let's face it, right? So if you put it on, it would be better if it were blocked. But like I said, it's long, but I like it being long. Especially for colder months. See? I couldn't imagine wearing it as a scarf. It would be, let's see, it would be down to my knees, at least. But this is the 2011 Advent Calendar Scarf by Kristen Benniken. So, like I said, there will be a 2012. I do believe 2010 there was one. It was the first one, and I didn't even try it then. Let's face it, I knew that was not happening that year. I was so busy. And so moving on to works in progress. Last week I was talking about my traveling sweater and how that one wedge seemed to be a little short, so I had to add on. So I did complete the 5th wedge. So 3/4 of it were done last week, and I finished the last quarter. So slowly but surely it's coming along. I have 5 out of the 8 wedges done on the body part. And then I just have sleeves. No rush. Like I said, this and the Even Star, which I remembered what it was called this week, I'm in no hurry for. This is kind of like an in-between project, or if I kind of need a palette cleanser, I can just sit down and work on this. It's easy. It's just ribbing. It takes forever. Oh, I'm so sorry. Alright, next up is, I think it fell. There it is. Since the shawl is finished and it's a Christmas present, because I can't work on my kids' Christmas presents when they're home. So I have to work on them when they're in bed or at school. So I got that done for my daughter, and I started socks for my son. Oh, I forgot to say the traveling sweater really quick, so I give credit. The pattern is by A. Karen Alfke, and the yarn is Blue Moon Fiber Arts, Woo Boo, in the Ravenscroft colorway. Okay, so now back to these socks. So, I believe it was Renee on the Dancing Dog Dye Works board, gifted me, there was 43 grams left of this skein of yarn, and it is called Sock Monkey Madness. I have a son who loves monkeys, and so the yarn itself stripes like a coppery kind of brown, a cream, and a dark brown. So I'm like, well, to make it more sock monkey-ish, I went and did the heel solid red. So it's like a sock monkey mouth. And then I'm going to go do the foot in the stripes, and the toe will be red as well. I love knitting these socks because they are going super duper fast. I started these on Monday. Today is now Wednesday. And then I am just as far, if not just a couple rows farther, on this sock. So I have two. Like I said, Dancing Dog Dye Works Twist in Sock Monkey Madness. And then the red is Dancing Dog Dye Works. It's not Twist. I'm not 100% sure what base the red is. I know the color is called Cherry Red. And it was one of the mini skeins for the first Hexy Puff yarn thing that she did. So, I got the cuff, the total heel done, and the gussets are both done now, and I can move on to the foot. Oh, I can't believe I'm coughing so much. Okay, and then lastly, for works in progress, I haven't showed this in a long time. And, alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause because I feel like a big old sneeze coming on. Okay, I'm back. As I was saying, I don't work on this too often, and I haven't shown it in a long time, even though I've worked on some since the last time I showed you, which was like way back in the spring. And it is my beekeeper's quilt. So I do a Hexy Puff every once in a great while. Kind of like one of them little palette cleanser things. So I have a variety of yarns. Let's see, since the last time I showed you, I have knit 7 Hexy Puffs. Right? 7, yes. So this one is, let me think, Twisted Fiber Arts, Tasty is the base, and it is part of the Salsa colorway. It was the little bit I had left when I did my whippoorwill this past spring, and this is so soft. It is like superwash merino, cashmere, nylon. Super soft. And then I got little mini skeins from 716 Knit. So there's this, and it's kind of like grays with like a little bit of hint of light pink. And then there's black with neon stripes. And this, I believe, was a self-striping. And it is black and pink. So those are all 716 Knit. This green one is Dancing Dog Dye Works in the kiwi green. And then I have an Into the World and Captain Tight Pants. So I used up the last of that. And then I used up the last tiny little bit I had of my 3 Irish Girls, You Are My Sunshine. So I just figured since I had enough to fill up this little pouch, because for my Hexy Puffs, I keep a size 4 24-inch circular. Did I set that? I think I set that. Oh, right here. I cast on to a size 4 double point needle, and then I transfer them onto the cable the way the instructions say, instead of using double points. And then I have a tiny little crochet hook to pull in my ends and a little pair of scissors. And these are all the tools I need besides stuffing. So when I make some Hexy Puffs, I just stick them in here with these. So I notice, well, my thing's pretty much full. I need to empty it out. And so I thought, well, I'll show them to you, all the ones I've done, so I can empty it out, put it in the bin with all the rest of them. And figure next time I fill it up, I'll show you. And then it's nice because I have this 31 bag. I love this thing. It's just rectangle. Has little spongy pockets on the side. So I have the pattern and a little page protector. And then I keep this in there. And I usually have like a gallon Ziploc bag with fluff. And it all fits in here, and it's my little Hexy Puff kit. So moving on to Yarny goodness. Monday, I had a doctor's appointment out of town. I was like, I don't know, hour or so away. And I was kind of like back in the area where I grew up. And I don't know, I don't always miss it. But being back there the other day, and I was feeling a little bit homesick. So on the way home, I decided to stop in Oberlin. because they have the cutest little yarn shop called Smith's. And I'm like, well, okay, quick update with the basement. I guess I should have mentioned this in the beginning. So the basement flooded last week. I told you about that. At first we thought it killed our washer and our dryer. We ended up getting the washer to work. I think it just needed to dry out, but the dryer was shot. The water just killed the motor. So we had to buy a new dryer. And then I realized all my scrapbooking stuff was in the basement. Like 15 years worth of collecting scrapbook stuff. Every piece of paper I owned, every sticker, everything. I mean, when I say everything, I mean everything but the books, which were upstairs, thank goodness. So, a few people had private messaged me on Plurk, because I had plurked about it, and have offered to send me some stuff. So a huge thank you to those who have contacted me saying you want to do that. I am so touched at your thoughtfulness. I really, really am. I mean, it totally was unnecessary, but much appreciated. So, I was feeling, I was pretty tore up. I cried. I won't lie about it. But I was feeling kind of, it was a stressful week last week, a really stressful weekend, trying to just clean up. We've gotten like a tiny bit of water in the basement before in this one area, but where the scrapbooking stuff was, it's always stayed dry. We've never had a problem. Well, we got a foot of water, so everything got wet. So I decided to stop into this little knit shop, and I was like, I'm going to get me something. I'm going to do just a tiny bit of retail therapy because I've lost thousands of dollars of scrapbooking stuff. I'm going to get me a skein of yarn. So I'm walking around and I'm like, the thing I love about Smith's is they always have sweater quantities. I think that's awesome. And so I'm walking around and I'm like, okay, I don't really have the funds for a sweater quantity of yarn. I would have loved to have gotten, but I'm like, no, I just want to get myself something, just a little something. So I'm walking around and it's really hard because I am a one skein impulse buyer, like big time. I don't buy sweater quantities unless it's pre-planned. But I'm like, okay, I kind of had made a mental list before I left the house because I thought I might stop in there, of projects in my queue that I definitely wanted to knit. So I could allow for one single skein that could be used with a solid because I want to make, it's the Mormorio. It's Mormorio is the pattern. It's a shawl, and you use a highly variegated yarn and a solid neutral. And I found this. This screams me. It is pops of orange. It is bright yellow, lime green, aquas, and there's just a small little spot of blue. There was definitely more than one dye lot. I think there was like 2 dye lots because one was very washed out and subtle. This was one of the more vibrant ones, and I am going to butcher this yarn name for sure. I apologize to the yarn company. Araucania? Does that sound close to something? Araucania? Alright, it's Araucania yarns. It will definitely be in the show notes. I already have show notes typed up. I was on it this morning. So it will be in the show notes. I'm sorry. So sorry for all the coughing. You missed my sneezing fit. Be thankful. It wasn't pretty. And the base is Hausco, Hausco. It is colorway number 5. Real, I mean, I can say 5, right? It was $26, so it was kind of pricey. But the other one that I saw and I was like melting over, just drooling, was like $36, and that was out of the question. I had given myself like a limit of $25, and I was like, well, this is $26. It's close enough. So it is super fine, or ultra fine. How do they put it? Extra fine. It is extra fine merino, 450 yards, 100 grams. So you get generous yardage. It is soft. It is super soft, super gorgeous. Sorry to ramble on about my yarn, but I was really excited about this because I really do love it. And I think I'm going to pair it with like a cream color, kind of like the string here for the shawl. I just have to decide what brand I'm going to use because I want something definitely is soft. And I don't normally like to mix brands of yarn at all, but because they only had this in hand-painted yarns, I'm kind of going to have to. Okay, my other yarny goodness just came today. It is Dancing Dog Dye Works, Walt's Worst. It is, I didn't take French, so I'm probably going to butcher this too. Vive le Bouffe and Mini Brown. So it is golden yellows, oranges, browns, like an avocado green, and a little bit of black. And I normally don't like yarn with black in it. I don't know why, but I don't. But this I think is really pretty and it's very me. They are definitely my kind of colors. And then I like that it came in a kit. You didn't get to pick your color. It was available in the worsted weight and the sock yarn. And the sock yarn I think came with green for the heel and toes mini. But I like that it came with brown because I have lots of Dancing Dog Dye Works and I have yellows, oranges, and greens. So brown is a nice addition. So definitely happy with that. Don't know what it's going to be yet. I'd like to be like, oh yes, it's going to be a toy, but you know, I almost think they'd make really cute like mittens. I need to knit myself some mittens besides my octopus mittens because I'm terrified to wear them and lose one because I won't knit those again. Mark my words. And then if you are in the Dancing Dog Dye Works Monster Mania Club and you haven't gotten your shipment yet and you don't want to be spoiled, look away. This was the first shipment for October. It is called Big's Beautiful Blues. So it is like a kind of like a cobalt blue and like a sky blue and almost like a gray blue. Kind of this green, kind of like a deep sea foamy green. Gray is like a silvery gray and black. It's pretty. It's just not my colors. Like I said, I mean, Michelle always does a super amazing job. I just, you know, not my colors. So I have let people know that this could be up for trade for a future club colorway if I like one of those better. Like I said, I mean, I'm definitely not disappointed. Like I said, it's gorgeous. It's the quality and the amazingness that's always Dancing Dog Dye Works. I'm just not a blue and black person, but it's lovely. I love the wall source base. It is so soft and squishy. Love it. Next up, all spun up. I did get to spin up my Gail's Art. It is 100% Cordale. Like, what was that? Cordale. And the ironic thing is it's blues, aquas, purples, and blacks, which are totally not my colorway. I think I really surprised myself in buying it. But I don't know, just drawn to it for some reason. It will be The Elefante by Susan B. Anderson, because I am on the wait list for SSK, and I am going to participate in the knit-alongs just for fun. And so Gail's Art is going to be a vendor there again, And then you have to knit any Susan B. Anderson pattern. And digging through my fiber stash, I thought this would be a nice color for an elephant. So I just spun it. It is a 2-ply. I got 138 yards of a worsted weight. It is like 4.6 ounces, which is 115 grams. And I will go ahead and put a picture of what this looked like before I spun it here. And it spun great. I mean, it's really consistent and even. It wasn't too slippery, but it wasn't too grabby. It was just, it's not as soft. I mean, it's not as soft as a merino or a Polworth. I mean, you could wear it like maybe as mittens. It'd be a good hat. I wouldn't want it as a cowl. But I think it turned out nice. Like I said, not totally my colors, but I figure I will probably end up gifting my Elefante. And this didn't have a colorway name. It just said random colorway on the tag. So I don't know if it's like her leftovers, like when she dies, actual colorways, she kind of mixes it up, or if she just gets in the studio and plays around. But I have renamed it Galactic because I said last week, in case you didn't watch, I was talking with my daughter and I was like, oh, it kind of reminded me of a galaxy, the way it was kind of in this twist thing as unspun fiber. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to make the Elefante with it. And she's like, you'll have a Galactic Elefante. So we have renamed this Galactic. So, yay, it smells so good. I soaked it in some of my soak. I like the Celebration. I think the Flora is my favorite scent, and I haven't been able to find any, and when I do find it, it's really expensive. I'm trying to think. Excuse me. I think I got my soak from Knit Picks, if I remember correctly. Because they had a big bottle, and it was more affordable. I have nothing else on the bobbin at the moment. I've been so focused on trying to get that advent calendar scarf done because I thought I am not starting another one before that one's off the needles, and I kind of want to break. There's now less than a month until the next one starts, and I'm already kind of burnt out on it. So I don't know how far I'll get, but it's always fun to at least give it a try and hopefully at least get it finished by next year. So that's it. I have no fiber this week. So keep your questions rolling in. Remember, you have to be a member of the group to win the prize if you post. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's fun to see the questions people come up with. So I'll answer more next week. And until then, I am Jenna, also known as Retro Lemon on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, Pinterest, and I will see you then. Bye.